Hey everybody, welcome back to Jimmy is Promo, and today we're going to talk about the real life scenarios of the battery life on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, at least on how I use it on my day-to-day use. Also, I'm going to show you everything broken down on how much I use of each of these applications. This right here is a screenshot because it was about to die. So we're going to break all this down. I'm going to show you where you can view all these graphs, and I'm also going to show you all of the settings that I have that would get me that 9 hours and 10 minutes of screen on time. Now, that's more than what maybe most people need. I think most people for screen on time would really need to have right around 6 or 7 hours of screen on time, if they're at work, not at work, whatever the case. So I'm going to show you, basically the breakdown of how we did with this kind of drainage of my battery going from 100% down to basically zero. And then I'm going to show you all my settings. So when it comes down to my usage, one thing for you guys to kind of know is that, yes, I do work from home. I'm always at home taking care of the toddler. I'm the stay-at-home parent. So I'm not out and about roaming around, going from tower to tower to tower, making sure I keep having my LTE, things like that. So you want to kind of take a look at your normal life to see, how is yours kind of different? And other than that, you want to kind of compare your usage of some of your applications to maybe some of the applications that I use. So you might use a little bit more YouTube than me. You might also play more games than I do, things like that. So basically with this breakdown, I'm going to start with this little image right here. So first off, I'm going to show you, this was something I shared on Twitter just to kind of let you guys know where I'm sitting. This area right here was me sleeping. So this right here, I used it from 7 a.m. all the way up until basically I had to go to bed. I slept for about 5 or 6 hours, woke up, started using it again. It was at this moment in time when I was like, I'm going to keep using my phone as normal. I'm not going to try to drain it. I'm not trying to use it more. I'm not trying to use it less. I'm not trying to conserve it. I'm not trying to make it look like it earns more or anything like that. This was just a moment where I was like, I'm going to take a screenshot, share it, and then shoot this video. So again, I'm not trying to kill it, and I'm not trying to make it last longer. This is just a normal everyday use. And then I'm going to show you all my settings so you can see how I did it. So the first menu in your little battery menu, which we'll cover here in just a second, is going to not give you too much information. It's when you go to the next page inside of your battery usage that really breaks everything down. So this thing right here has had a 1 day and 9 hour use. That's because, again, I used it from 7 a.m. all the way till I went to bed. I kept it off the charger. I'm not going to charge it if it's just sitting at, 50% or whatever it may have been, or 40%. And then I used it all the way until it died. So I got 9 hours and 10 minutes of screen on time. A lot of people only really need to have 6 or 7 hours of screen on time, maybe depending on what they do for work, things like that. Now, scrolling down to everything all broken down, you're going to get a good mix of everything from phone calls to games to, Instagram, like social medias, and then regular video services, things like that. Now, when it comes down to the 7.7% of battery use, now I don't really, because I'm at home, I don't really talk just through the normal earpiece. I don't hold it up to my head. I actually have it on speakerphone. Normally with the screen on the majority of the time. I'm just walking through the house, pacing, having conversations, looking at things. So yeah, my screen is on during the time I'm having these phone calls. So this number would actually be less if I was connected to Bluetooth, or this right here would be less if I actually put it up to my ear and had a normal conversation. So 7.7% of my battery used on phone calls, right around 2.5, maybe 3 hours. Zen Idle is a game that, it doesn't really do too much. There is a lot of pixels and a lot of things moving around, but it's not extensive. I'm not touching the screen too much. So 5.8% used. I used it for 52 minutes. Instagram was used for 1 hour and 16 minutes. Facebook was used for 45. My messages was used for 54. A lot of times just open, sitting there, waiting for a response, going back, taking a look at the read and delivered messages, things like that. When You Want Home for 51 minutes, YouTube for 35, Twitter for 34 minutes, the internet for 26 minutes, and then Google Play services took 2%. So this is, some of what was there. There's actually another full list underneath this. I just took what was kind of important towards the top. So again, most important thing, 9 hours and 10 minutes of screen on time. So where do you go to take a look at all of these details, when it comes down to your battery info? So you just want to click on the very top, hit on settings. You're going to scroll down. You're going to take a look at battery and device care. And inside of here, you just want to click there. And this is right now showing me that I got 2 days and 20 hours left. It's assuming what I would be doing based off of the previous times that I've fully charged it back up to 100%. Again, this phone is still pretty brand new. I'll probably come back to this video in a month or two to see how it's hold up. Maybe see if it's the same numbers or not compared to this video. Again, every application is on here. Google Maps, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anything that I would log into, everything is here that was there from my past device. So this is the first screen right here of battery. There's not much going off here. Now, if you click on the graph, that's where it breaks it down more. So there's that screen on time. Right now I'm sitting at 46 minutes. Screen off time is 1 hour and 30. As you scroll down here, I guess if you want to, you can actually tap in these little 4-hour intervals. And in each of these, you can actually see what you're using. So within this little time frame, it'll break it down. So if you noticed your battery went down a lot in that little graph area, you can take a look at exactly what took it all. So you can tap in between all these little bars and it's going to break it all down. And you can see if there's something that's using more than it should. Again, phone calls. I always have speakerphone on, screen on. I'm having conversations. I never really put up to my ear because, again, I'm always in the car or I'm at home. Internet is about 7 minutes, galleries 8, messages is 3, and so on. It's pretty small here. It breaks it down by percentage here, and then you can read all the minutes. So this is where I'm sitting right now, and this is where you can read all your details. Again, you can tap on all of these little sections right here to see what took most of your battery, during those times. So maybe if you're sleeping and you didn't charge it and you notice a drop, you can see what it was. And more than likely, if you're sleeping, it was probably Google Play Services doing a bunch of updates on a bunch of different applications. So this is how you can take a look at all of your different battery details and statistics. Now I'm going to show you everything that I have turned on my device through the settings. So I'm going to show you a few things inside of here. But before I go inside of this area here, I want to show you this little icon right up over there. So we're going to go back inside of settings. We're going to go inside of battery and device care. One more time, go inside of battery. And then you can see that I don't have power saving on. You can turn on power saving and you can actually get way more. So if you find yourself not really needing to have, 120 hertz refresh rate, you can bring it down, to 60 hertz, and you can take a look at some of these things here too. You can turn this on and you can get way more. So I could probably get maybe a full entire day more than what I have. So I didn't use any of that, but if you scroll down, you can go inside of more battery settings. Now I do have this one turned on. It's called adaptive battery. So adaptive battery is going to extend your battery life based on your phone usage. It's going to notice when it needs to adapt the battery and when it doesn't. This was on the past devices, but this is new on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. This is performance profile. So you can change the profile, of what you want to use. So you can see that right now I'm on light. That was what that icon was on the very top. So standard, it provides the recommended balance between processing speed, battery life, and cooling efficiency. Now I have it on light, which is one of those things that I may have turned on that you didn't. That's helping me get that 9 hours, 10 minutes of screen on time. This prioritizes battery life and cooling efficiency over the processing speed. Now you took a look at all the applications that I use, Instagram and YouTube, a game called Zen Idol. I'm not doing anything crazy where I have to have that processing speed, be standard up here. So this was one that I turned on. It's called light for performance profile. And that is one of the things that I have that I believe is helping me get a little bit better battery life than maybe what some people have. Now, before we really go inside of all the in-depth of all the settings, I do need to show you, my display, because some people might be asking me, is this the WQHD Plus? Is it the Full HD Plus? What's going on? So here it is. So my display resolution, I do have it at WQHD Plus. As you guys saw from my, all the settings to change the moment you get yourself the Galaxy S23 device. I never do the middle option. The middle option would actually save more battery and I could probably get a longer life than the 9 hours and 10 minutes. But I use WQHD Plus. This is a Samsung device made by the best television, manufacturer in the world. I'm not going to stand for a mediocre, average, similar to like a fruit company phone. I'd rather kind of have the Samsung quality, the WQHD Plus. So screen resolution is at its max. My screen timeout, for some reason, is at 5 minutes. To be completely honest, I thought this thing was at 2 minutes. I don't know when this thing changed. I guess my son must have grabbed my phone at some point when I had the settings turned on. But yeah, normally this should be at 2 minutes, but it was at 5. So how long was that 5 minutes? I have no idea. It should actually be at 2 minutes because I like my screen time out there, especially when I'm shooting YouTube videos, or if I'm, taking care of the son, whatever the case. If I'm walking away, getting a bottle of milk, coming right back, I'm coming straight to the phone. It's still going to be there. So screen timeout is at 2 minutes. So no, I'm not at 30 seconds. No, I'm not at Full HD Plus. Yes, I am at that motion smoothest adaptive. I'm not going to be at standard. I want to have that 120 hertz refresh rate. So when it comes down to the display, I really have it pretty much almost to the max. And you even saw there my screen timeout was at 5 when it should have been at 2. The other big thing here is that I don't use light mode versus dark mode. And let me tell you, if you were trying to read this right now on YouTube, on your phone or your TV, your computer, it's not going to be that great. This is going to be much better. And this also saves you battery. When you think about it, right now, everything that you see is black. The LEDs where it's all black right there is literally turned off. It's not trying to portray the color black or display something similar to a black, like an LCD display has to do. This is LED, so all of these individual LEDs built inside of here is turned off. When you use light mode, you are using literally every single LED to illuminate everything on your phone. It's going to take more battery life. So I always use dark mode. So now that we talked about dark mode, we talked about my display settings because there's some things in there that can change your battery life. Now I'm always at home, so I have my Wi-Fi turned on. If you're somebody who travels a lot, you're at work somewhere, whatever the case, just have your Wi-Fi turned off, because every single time that your Wi-Fi is on and you're traveling by a house or a business that has Wi-Fi, it's picking it up, maybe seeing if it would want to register, maybe seeing if something was open for it to connect to, getting in and out. The best thing is just to keep this one turned off if you're not at home. When you're at home, turn on your Wi-Fi. It's a better stable connection. It's not trying to find the best LTE. It's not trying to find the best tower. It's literally just connected to your Wi-Fi at home. So that's one thing that also helps me. I also use extra dim. Extra dim, I sometimes used to only use at night, but now I actually just keep it on through the day because this actually does a really good job. You can see my brightness is up. This does change because I have adaptive brightness turned on. So if you look here, adaptive brightness is turned on. So if I go to another room that's brighter or darker, it will move with it. The cool thing with 5.1 is that with inside of extra dim, you can change the intensity. Beforehand, you didn't have the intensity line. You only had on or off. Now my intensity is right around here. I think it's just under halfway. Maybe if I'm laying in bed and it's midnight, if it doesn't get dark enough, maybe I'll bring it on a little bit more. But this is right around kind of where I'd like to be. So extra dim is turned on, unless if I go outside, it's sunny, and I just turn this off. It's very simple. That's why it's sitting right there on the very beginning, the very first page for me to simply do. So usually this is turned on because I'm inside a lot. The other thing, I guess my nearby share is turned on. That's because I actually used it today. This is normally turned off. So nearby share, it's not going to try to, connect. It's not going to be visible to other people. So if you're not actively sharing with somebody, then you might as well just have that turned off. My eye comfort shield is actually set as a schedule. So on schedule around 10:30 at night is when it turns on. My color temperature changes. It makes it a little bit more warm. So this way, again, it's not going to take as much battery. You can also do adaptive if you want to, or you can just simply turn it on or off. Now going through the rest of these, we talked about eye comfort shield. Now here's NFC. So NFC, turn it off if you're not using it. It's the same thing over here with Wi-Fi. If you're not using Wi-Fi, turn it off. If you ever do want to make a payment, you just simply turn it on. Boom. Now you're contactless when it comes down to payments. When you're done using it, you can just simply turn it off. We already talked about dark mode up over there. And then everything else back here, everything else looks pretty much normal. There is other, things if you want to add more in there, but I don't really think that there's going to be anything crazy like color inversion. You don't need that. High contrast fonts, that'll just take up more battery because you're going to get a bunch of yellows and stuff. Color filter didn't really play with. I mean, there's even protect battery, but that just kind of makes it to where you charge your phone only up to 85%. You can have performance profiles and modes, things like that. So there is more things you can do to even save more battery life, but that's probably going to be for another video in the future. So let's see what it looks like with modes. Oh yeah, so modes is just routines and modes. When it comes down to, let's edit these buttons. When it comes down to performance profile, I'm going to bring this on down, I guess just for the future. Put it over to this last page, hit done. So performance profile. All right, well, that's what it is, standard and light. So this is what we talked about from before, but I didn't turn on any of the battery saving mode type stuff. So that's kind of cool that it's sitting there. That's new again with 5.1, so that's why I wasn't familiar with that one. So I'm just going to add it there so I don't have to go all the way through the settings. So this was pretty much all that I did with my phone. When you think about it, it's really that performance settings there. I have it on light rather than just standard. I also make sure that, I'm connected to Wi-Fi when I'm at home. Turn off NFC when you're not using it. Eye comfort shield is great to do at night. Extra dim, I believe, is a pretty big deal. That's also helping me. And then again, just as a reminder, when it comes down to my display, WQHD plus, screen timeout's usually 2 minutes, not 30 seconds, and motion smoothness is at adaptive. So this way you can go all the way up to 120 hertz. So if you want to save a little bit of battery, you can do standard. But if you're somebody who is really looking into saving your battery, then you just might want to go inside your settings. You're going to go down to battery and device care. You go back inside of battery. And then when you take a look at your power saving, this is where you can turn it on, and then you also have more additional options right here too. So if you want to add more, maybe a full day or half day, whatever the case may be, you'd be able to select that option. But this is all of my settings. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis. This is my normal every single day average usage. I'm not trying to kill it. I wasn't trying to make it look better. And so right here it is, 9 hours and 10 minutes of screen on time. And then you saw everything else of what I was using. So hopefully you guys appreciate this video. Hopefully this video has helped you guys out. Try to decide which settings you would like to use. If you guys appreciated this, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe on the very bottom left-hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.